Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Carol. Thank you for tuning in, and to my regular subscribers, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. In today's video, it should be kind of short. I'm just going to talk about how I transitioned from using anti-perspirant deodorant with aluminum to a more natural deodorant. I had somebody ask me about it recently, and it really wasn't a hard process. What I did was, I wanted to make sure I had some time off from work, or I hadn't scheduled anything for a few days. And so I would get up, wash my take a shower, of course, wash my underarms like I always do. The difference was I didn't use any deodorant I think I went a couple of days without it. I, of course, washed. I didn't use deodorant. I made sure I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going to be around people, or I wasn't working. But I think on the third day when I took my shower, you want to make sure that your underarm is dry, because moisture can breed bacteria. So you want to make sure your underarm's dry. And then I just used a little light pat of deodorant, not how you sometimes do lots of deodorant, but I just swiped it lightly. And that was from then on. That was how the process started. I think I had listened to somebody a few years ago, and they had said that it didn't work when they tried to switch to natural deodorant. But then they said, well, they learned that they had to do something like using vinegar or lemon juice under there or something. And the research I did said that is not the thing to do. So, like I said, you just want to wash and maybe go without deodorant for a few days. I have another friend that said she went 3 or 4 days without using any deodorants. I guess she might have been on vacation or something. But anyway, yeah, if you are subject to, or your arms are easily irritated, you want to make sure that the deodorant you use does not have baking soda, and make sure it's fragrance free. And I thought that was odd, because I can remember, it seems like a long time ago, people used to say, oh, I just pat a little bit of baking soda under there and go on about my way. But and you can do that, but it can cause some irritation, some redness. And I think I read somewhere that it was like, I don't know, high acidity, a lot higher than your regular body acid or something. But yeah, it can cause some irritation. So if you're prone to, easily irritated, or your underarms, not your personality, but your underarms, because, well, I guess if it's irritated under there, you'll be irritated. But yeah, don't use, make sure there's no fragrance or baking soda in your natural deodorant. And I think I talked about it in one of my recent videos, how I was surprised, in my line of work, I'm in my air-conditioned car, and then I get out with loan documents and take them to people's houses so they can get the loan documents signed. And, sometimes you're at the door, and how hot it is here. And it seems like most places in the United States, but it's very hot, 100-degree weather, 100 plus in a lot of places. But you get out and you think, I'm out of the car and I'm at the door, and they'll be right there. But sometimes, maybe they got to put the dogs away, or or whatever the case may be, or maybe they're upstairs or something. But it might take them a minute or so to get to the door. So you're out there in the heat. And with once you go with the natural deodorant, I think my other friend says she doesn't even use deodorant. She just sprays some kind of scented mist under her arm. I still use, a natural deodorant, but I noticed a difference. When you go get a mammogram and they tell you that they don't want you to wear deodorant to it. You can wear it, but they'll make you wipe it off before you have the mammogram. But this time when I went, I was comfortable. I wasn't worried that by the time I got there that I was going to have a musty odor, and I didn't have any of that. Transitioning from the anti-perspirant deodorant, it can, you're going to sweat a lot. So, because this is a deodorant only, it's not anti-perspirant. So you're not going to have that anti-perspirant clogging up your pores to stop you from sweating. Like I guess I got sidetracked, but I did talk about how I had gone to one house after I switched up, and it was very hot outside, and then inside their AC was not working. They were waiting for the heat and air guy to come, and they had just fans going in there. So it's already 100 degrees outside, and then it's not that hot inside, but it's still hot, too hot for me. And, by the time I finished getting those documents signed, you kind of holding your arms together because you don't want to breeze by somebody and you have some kind of odor. And I could feel myself sweating quite a bit under there. I didn't want them to go back and say, oh, she did a great job, but she smelled. But once I got back in my car, I touched my underarm and it smelled like deodorant, and I was surprised because it's like, oh my gosh, there's no smell here, and I've done all this sweating. So that period of a transition, it could take anywhere from 2 weeks up to a month before you adjust. I don't know why I'm not sweating as much now. Maybe it's because I'm not outside as much. I try to stay out of that heat because that stuff is deadly. But sometimes we do what we have to do. We have to be out there for whatever reason, for work. Maybe you're cutting the grass, but, it's just a fact of life. We gotta, most of us have to go out. I do. I don't know about you. But also, once you start transitioning from this, you want to wear light fabrics, breathable fabrics, and something that's not going to make you sweat too much. But yeah, it took me it took several weeks. I'm to a place now, like I said, that I am really happy with how things have gone about. I do, like I said, do carry deodorant in my purse just to kind of freshen up. But you do want to carry light breathable. You want to wear light breathable fabrics to make the transition period easier. So that was my experience. If you have questions, please list them down in the comments, and I thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you'll come see me in my next video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you soon. Bye-bye.